Oh, wonderful. It's yet another ridiculous barbaric passage from the Bible. You Christians need to just stop making excuses and recognize this stuff for what it is. Pure Bronze Age garbage.
Oh, wonderful. Is yet another bigoted, fundy atheist taking a passage out of time and context.
I don't care how many contexts you try and use to clean this up. The man sure has it easy if he's the one who screws up. How come he doesn't get executed for lying, huh?
Tell you what. Go outside and play in the traffic while the adults talk, okay? Thanks. Now, I know a lot of fundy atheists like to say I make this stuff up. So if any of them ever feel like leaving their coloring books for a minute, they can check out this article to get some idea where I get all of what follows from. Next, we need to remind fundy atheists of a few other things. Sam says the man gets off easy if he lies. Well, not quite. If you reach over to this passage in a different part of Deuteronomy, and you read it carefully, you'll figure out that if the husband testified falsely, it's quite possible he'd be the one to get executed. More than that, the stated punishment on the man is a rock-solid example of this principle. The first part of the punishment amounts to a reversal of the wedding dowry, plus the same amount as recompense for the fact that it will be harder for the bride to get into a second marriage. The second amounts to a full break on his attempt to get out of the marriage against the woman he slandered. The assumption being that the guy married the girl for no other reason than to get his hands on the dowry. Pretty straightforward.
Wait a minute. So does the guy get executed, or does the guy just have to man up and pay back?
Did you finish playing in traffic yet? Beat it. Now the question here is one we touched on in this series, where we explained that the law codes of the A&E were didactic. Legal systems in that culture, as Wells puts it, allowed the same infraction to be punished with different penalties. The wrong party often had the right to choose which penalty or penalties to impose on the offending party. A husband who had been wronged by pre-consummation sex plus deception thus had a range of penalties from which to choose, including death, but also lesser penalties. In the same way, the bride and her father could choose. Do they prefer to have the slanderer executed? Or would they rather keep him alive and subject him to the dishonor of a public flogging, followed by requiring him to fulfill his duties to the wife and family as a provider of support? That's sort of like the choice between the penalty of death and life in prison without possibility of parole. So there you go, Sam. What do you say to that one?
I say you guys are a bunch of stupid little...
He sure sounds a lot better like that, doesn't he? See you next time.